This is one of the strangest disappearances ever happened in the Nevada desert. This man was not only passionate about hiking, but also a YouTuber who loved to share his adventures. One day, while hiking alone in the Nevada desert, he accidentally discovered a strange cave with an entrance shaped like the letter M. According to him, being near the cave caused a strange vibration in his body, growing more intense the closer he got. He had never felt anything like it before. After returning home, he couldn't stop thinking about the cave and the fear he felt there. He planned a second trip to M Cave, but this time, he never came back. This is the disappearance of Kenny Veach, one of the most baffling and mysterious cases in the Nevada desert. This is the story of Kenny Veach, born in 1967, an experienced hiker and desert explorer. Kenny lived in Las Vegas, the most populous city in Nevada, located in the southeastern part of the state. He lived there with his girlfriend, Sherian Pilgrim. Nevada is known for its vast wilderness and countless classic hiking routes. Kenny often went hiking with Sherian. Sometimes, they would explore the desert during the day and return to their car just before sunset. Other times, they would hike to the top of a mountain and camp overnight, falling asleep under the stars. Most of their hikes took place in the Great Basin and Mojave deserts. The Great Basin Desert is a cold desert located in the high inland plateaus of the western United States and is the largest desert in North America. It covers most of Nevada and more than half of Utah. This huge desert has lots of basins and mountain ranges and covers more than 520,000 square kilometers. To the south is the Mojave Desert, covering parts of California, Nevada, Utah, and Arizona. It's famous for its iconic Joshua trees, extreme temperatures, and vast landscapes. Right between the Mojave and Great Basin deserts lies a famous spot, Death Valley National Park. It is one of the hottest and driest places in North America. Far from the usual tourist spots, Nevada's deserts are full of mysterious and unexplored areas, and the most famous is Area 51, down in the southern desert. Rumor has it that Area 51 is a secret testing ground for experimental aircraft and maybe even alien technology. The site has never been open to the public or even to normal military planes. It's heavily guarded with radar and underground sensors, and any intruders are quickly chased away by helicopters and armed guards. The secrecy around Area 51 has drawn even more adventurers into these deserts. But the deserts aren't just mysterious, they're also really dangerous. Besides wild animals, there are deep natural caves, many still unexplored. Cell phone signals often don't work, and explorers sometimes lose contact with the outside world, sometimes with deadly consequences. Kenny is a confident and experienced hiker. He has been exploring this desert for many years. He enjoys watching other explorers' videos on YouTube and often leaves comments. In June 2014, Kenny commented under a video posted by the son of a technician at Area 51. He wrote, "One time during one of my hikes, out by Nellis Air Force Base, I found a hidden cave. The entrance to the cave was shaped like a perfect capital M. I always enter every cave I find. But as I began to enter this particular cave, my whole body began to vibrate. The closer I got to the cave entrance, the worse the vibrating became. Suddenly I became very scared and hightailed it out of there. That was one of the strangest things that ever happened to me." As soon as the comment was posted, it quickly caught the attention of viewers. Most people said they wanted Kenny to go there again. They suggested he bring a camera and film the whole process of entering the M Cave, then upload it to YouTube. Kenny agreed. He said he was more curious than anyone else about what was inside the cave, and that he had to go in and see for himself. Kenny said, "I solo hike across mountaintops that most people wouldn't dare go. I have been in more caves than I can count. I play with rattlesnakes for fun, but this one particular cave was beyond anything I had ever encountered. Someday I will go back, and I will bring a weapon with me. All I had at the time was a knife and a wrist rocket." And so, Kenny set out to explore the M Cave. This time, he brought a 9mm pistol and a camera, recording the entire expedition on video. He later uploaded some of the footage to his YouTube channel. Unfortunately, he couldn't find the M cave. Kenny said he clearly remembered its location, but for some reason, the cave seemed to have disappeared. Kenny said,
"Well, I did not find the cave. That is so weird."
Kenny said again, "I'm going again this weekend. I will be hiking solo for 3 days. I plan on covering about 40 miles. I will cross through the same canyon where I found the cave. If I don't find it again, I will just continue hiking over mountain after mountain to the north of the canyon. There is no guarantee that I will find the cave again. I've been in hundreds of caves, but the M cave is the only cave I ever feared going inside. I really want to find it again." In the comments below Kenny's video, most viewers were disappointed that he hadn't been able to find the M cave. Everyone wanted to know what was inside, so they encouraged Kenny to keep looking for the cave. Then a comment appeared that went against the majority opinion. The commenter suggested that Kenny shouldn't go to that cave anymore. The commenter was, "Let me kill Mr. No, do not go back there. If you find that cave entrance, don't go in. If you do, you won't get out." Kenny replied, "What makes you say that?" After that, Kenny never heard back from Lemmy. Obviously, the comment couldn't stop him from exploring. He decided to return to the desert to search for the M cave. On Monday, November 10, 2014, 47-year-old Kenny set out alone into the desert northeast of Las Vegas, hoping to find the M cave again. He told his girlfriend, Sherian, that it wouldn't take long and that he'd be back after a couple of nights in the canyon. After saying goodbye, Kenny drove out into the desert. Several days after Kenny failed to return, his girlfriend reported him missing to the police. The authorities organized a search, including volunteers and aerial support, but despite their efforts, they found no sign of Kenny. Sherian then mentioned an area Kenny had visited in one of his videos, and searchers focused on that spot. Eventually, they found his car near a canyon. By then, more than a week had passed since he'd gone missing. On November 22, they discovered an abandoned mine shaft, and his cell phone was found close to the entrance, but Kenny himself was nowhere to be seen. Searchers believed he may have entered the mine. Because it was unsafe to enter, searchers lowered a camera into the mine shaft to inspect it. They found no sign of Kenny inside. The surrounding area was searched for several more days, but nothing else was discovered. One theory is that Kenny may have passed by the mine while searching for the M cave, stopped briefly, and accidentally left his phone behind. Despite continued searches of the area, no further trace of him was ever found. Kenny had simply disappeared. On December 10, 1 month after Kenny went missing, Sherian posted a comment on YouTube. She said, "I didn't realize until today that there were comments on this hiking video. I am Kenny's girlfriend that he mentioned in the video. We went on many wonderful hikes together in our Nevada desert. Many of the hikes were 8 or 9 hours long, and we always took beautiful pictures." Kenny left for an overnight hike in this same area on Monday, November 10. Today is December 10. He did not return when he was supposed to. Thank you for suggesting the GPS. I talked with him before about using GPS for safety reasons. He just never seems to want to use one. He loved just being out in the desert and just finding his own way. I am aching with missing his physical presence. Please encourage all the solo hikers you know to use a GPS. It was at that point that many viewers realized Kenny had been missing for several days. Some concerned viewers even went out to the canyon themselves, but the desert was huge, and no one knew where to start. Others began analyzing Kenny's videos and the little information available, sharing different theories and ideas online. In Sherian's comment, she mentioned that Kenny never carried a GPS. Although he was an experienced hiker, relying only on memory without any navigation equipment made accidents far more likely. Kenny had once left a comment on YouTube saying, "I have been doing this sort of thing for over 20 years. I go where no one else goes. I've come across all sorts of bones, and occasionally I find really old animal traps. I hike over mountaintop after mountaintop and sleep under the stars. Sometimes I get stuck in tight spots and have to climb up cliffs to get out, but I always make it back. By the time I return, my pack is almost always heavier than when I started. I've only needed a helicopter rescue once. I injured my left leg on the top of the mountain. At that time, I only had a cup of water left to get me 20 miles back to my truck. So don't worry, I'm very safe." Kenny seemed a bit overconfident. He even once said that GPS and compasses are for non-experts. Some viewers pointed out that he could only carry a limited amount of food and water. Even though Kenny had hiked in the area many times and knew a bit about surviving in the wilderness, like what's safe to eat and what isn't. People were worried that if he got lost, he might not have enough food or water to make it back. Many think that since he didn't bring a GPS and could have gotten lost, he wasn't able to return safely. Some people think Kenny might have been bitten by a venomous snake or attacked by wild animals, but he had brought a pistol this time, so he probably could have defended himself. Plus, no blood was found near the mine where his phone was left. Of course, it's possible he was attacked by a wild animal at night, but there's no evidence for that. Some people even think the M cave might lead to a secret underground base. According to the theory, there could be devices near the entrance that send out sound waves, making people feel strange vibrations, hallucinate, or feel intense fear. The idea is to keep outsiders away. Some viewers have also said that a few years ago, people who went near Area 51 came back feeling nauseous or even vomiting. We also know that Kenny once said the M cave is near Nellis Air Force Base. Could something there have affected him and caused him to get into trouble? Some even think Kenny might have disappeared on purpose or taken his own life. Kenny's girlfriend, Sherian, once left a comment under one of his videos. "He has not been found, and I feel that he probably will not be found for many, many months, if ever. I want to share what I know and feel about what happened." Kenny absolutely loved hiking in the desert. It was his very, very favorite thing to do. We hiked and camped together all over the Nevada desert, sometimes 9 hours in a day. We found many abandoned mining towns, usually referred to as ghost towns by Nevada hikers. We explored many caves and mine shafts. We were always careful how we explored them, but Kenny was a bit more daring than I was. We wore snake guards, sun-protected clothing, used walking sticks, brought enough water and food for the hiking hours, and had extra water and food in the car. I want you to know that I do not think Kenny had an accident. I believe he committed suicide. He battled depression for many years and would not take medication or see a doctor. He quit his job a little more than a year before he disappeared. The search for him was started within a couple days of my call. Over 30 search and rescue team members searched 3 different times on foot. One helicopter flyover was done and there was no trace of Kenny or any of his camping things. They found his car in the area I told them it would be. They did find his cell phone by the mine shaft in the video. The mine shaft was only about a 4-hour hike from his car. It is my feeling he left it behind so that he could not be tracked from the GPS in it. He also did not take his video camera with him on this solo hike. It was left in his home. So, he had no intention of filming anything. I share this with you for 2 reasons. First, so that you have more of an understanding who Kenny was and to bring some peace or understanding to the situation. Secondly, if any of you do decide to go out into our desert to look for him or the M cave, be careful and bring enough water and food. Walking sticks are a good idea, and not doing a solo hike. Bring a GPS and make sure that you have let family or friends know that you are heading out for the hike and where and when you will be returning. I had many wonderful experiences with Kenny and will always remember them and have a place of love in my heart for him and the wonderful things we did together. I am healing from my loss and look forward to new experiences with desert hiking, camping, and taking beautiful pictures of our desert. Enjoy your adventures of life, and thank you for the kind, loving comments sent my way. About a year before his disappearance, Kenny quit his job and tried to start his own business. It didn't go as planned, and the business struggled. In his YouTube videos, Kenny even mentioned selling his house, suggesting he may have been under financial pressure. However, police later found no evidence that Kenny was in debt. Many people also believe that since he had a girlfriend and plenty of family and friends he cared about, it's unlikely he would have disappeared just to avoid financial problems. While investigators never ruled out the possibility of suicide, the case remained unclear. 2 years after Kenny went missing, Sherian spoke on YouTube and confirmed that they were under significant financial stress at the time, and Kenny had become increasingly depressed. He felt like his business had failed and was mostly living off his retirement savings. Sherian also said that Kenny had talked to her about ending his life, and his online search history showed he'd looked up articles about suicide. Because of that, some people believe his final trip into the desert may have been intentional. Kenny had once said that if he ever reached that point, he'd go somewhere far away from everyone, where no one could find him. Years later, someone found a cave entrance that looked a bit like the letter M, but no one knows for sure if it's the same M cave Kenny had talked about. To this day, his disappearance remains a mystery. Where did he go? Is he still alive? Maybe only Kenny knows.